So I'm Rahul Singh from Hindustan Times. Two quick questions. So number one, the Vice Chief spoke about the equipment display which will be focused on self-reliance. If you could tell us what technologies or what weapon systems will be on display at this event. Number two, sir, the Vice Chief also spoke about military diplomacy and how it's an important constituent of diplomacy. And this event comes at a time when there's a bit of there's some tensions between India and Canada, and the Canadian Army Chief is also taking part in it. Do you think it impacts the overall theme of the conference, or it goes ahead as planned?
Thank you, Rahul, for the questions. First part, when you asked as to what all other equipment which we are going to be displaying, so we have identified 30 vendors which find resonance when we are looking at, say, selling those items or equipment to all the countries which are taking part in the IPAC. So they are very contemporary and yet items which are got a large market for where it could be procured. So that is what we have targeted. And those 30 are from drones for even the air tags. So almost all vendors who are there in the fray in the market today who have made a difference in the Atmanirbharta when it comes to defense sector will be on display, both at our facility here and outside of the Manekshaw Auditorium. Actually, as to who are the particular vendors, I'll not go into that, but just suffice to say that everybody will be here. With the second on part where you're saying as to what impact the present diplomatic situation which exists between India and Canada is evolved, it doesn't impact us. The Canadian chief is coming in here, his delegation is coming in here, and like in case of even when we look at relationships with some neighbors of ours, where we may have had a standoff, but we continue to engage them at all levels, be it the military level and at the diplomatic level, and I'm referring directly to China here. So our diplomatic efforts, as also our military efforts with even Canada, continue to be there, and we, as part of the IPAM, they will form an important partner in this journey.
Yep. Madhurendra.
सर, मैं मधुरेंद्र न्यूज नेशन से मेरा सवाल यह है कि भारत और आसियान के जो बढ़ते सामरिक संबंध हैं वो इंडो पैसिफिक के लिए कितना जरूरी है, और जहां तक हम फ्री और फेयर इंडो पैसिफिक की बात करते हैं तो इस कॉन्फ्रेंस में इसको लेकर क्या चर्चा हो रही है?
थैंक यू फॉर द क्वेश्चन. आपका सवाल बहुत ही अच्छा इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, और एक जो छोटी सी क्लिपिंग कर्टन रेजर में दिखाई थी उसमें हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर का स्पेसिफिकली आसियान रिलेटेड जब उन्होंने बोला था कि वी वांट अ फ्री, ओपन एंड इंक्लूसिव इंडो पैसिफिक, एंड आसियान का भी यही नजरिया है इंडो पैसिफिक के लिए. दे ऑल्सो वांट कोऑपरेशन एंड ओपननेस एंड नॉट राइवलरी. दैट इज स्पेसिफिकली आसियान का भी मुद्दा. एंड देयर आर नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स विच वी कैन डिस्कस व्हेन इट कम्स टू आर्मी इटसेल्फ. आपने देखा था सुनामी में कितना इफेक्ट हुआ था पूरे इंडो पैसिफिक एरिया में, एंड ऑल द फर्स्ट रिस्पोंडेंट्स आर्मी ही रहती है और मिलिट्री रहती है. सो दैट इज वन थिंग, चाहे आप उसको ऑपरेशन राहत से देखें, ऑपरेशन दोस्त देखें, और अभी जो रिसेंटली हमने सूडान में ऑपरेशन कावेरी किया, सब में मिलिट्री का एक बड़ा योगदान रहा है इसमें. दूसरा रहा है जो नॉर्मल क्लाइमेट चेंजेस के इफेक्ट हैं, उसमें भी मिलिट्री का भी रोल हो सकता है, और वो हमने इंडियन आर्मी की तरफ से मैं बताता हूं, हमने काफी कुछ किया है लद्दाख में टू गो ग्रीन इनिशिएटिव के तहत जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने किया हुआ है. सो वी हैव अ रोल देयर टू. देन देयर आर सम टेरिटोरियल डिस्प्यूट्स व्हिच एग्जिस्ट, एंड हाउ टू हैव कॉमन अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ दोज, एंड उनको कैसे हम एड्रेस करें, वो बहुत जरूरी है. और जब अगर हम उसको एक कोलैबोरेटिव ढंग से एड्रेस करेंगे मिलिट्रीली, सो वी ऑल्सो नीड टू हैव इंटरऑपरेबिलिटी. इसलिए आपने देखा था कि एक जो हमारा सेगमेंट है, उस सेगमेंट में इंटरऑपरेबिलिटी, कोलैबोरेशन इज द थीम. एंड लास्ट एक जो पार्टनरशिप रहेगी हमारी जब आसियान के साथ भी जब हम बढ़ रहे हैं, एंड आपने देखा कि वी हैव बीन एबल टू सेल लॉट ऑफ आवर मिलिट्री हार्डवेयर टू द आसियान कंट्रीज, बी इट Vietnam or be it Philippines. So we are looking forward to showing our whatever we have been able to do through Atmanirbharta on sabko bhi. So we have a long partnership with ASEAN. You are aware, last year our partnership with ASEAN was raised to the level of comprehensive strategic partnership. So we look forward to having some goals setting up with our ASEAN partners who are participating in the IPAM.
Shivani.
Good morning, sir. I'm Shivani Sharma from Pacific region that warrants synergies between these armies of all these countries. And has the present geopolitical situation contributed to more synergy of the armies and also the nations?
So today's address, when the Vice Chief was addressing, he had also mentioned about the non-traditional threats. So the threat spectrum, actually, if you look at it, is vast today. And I think the militaries of the world also are handling all those threats. And I mentioned, अभी माधवेवन उनके क्वेश्चन में जब उन्होंने बोला था कि नॉन ट्रेडिशनल थ्रेट्स के लिए क्लाइमेट चेंज हो गया, HADR हो गया, नॉन कॉम्बैटेंट इवैक्यूएशन ऑपरेशन हो गया, जैसे ऑपरेशन राहत, दोस्त या गंगा था. And we have traditional threats, be it the trans-border terrorism, being able to define what terrorist organizations are and what constitutes a terrorist activity. That common understanding needs to be there, like we have seen in some cases where there is ambiguity. As also the India, Bangladesh, and even Thailand have faced the issue of some internally displaced people from Myanmar moving to their other areas. So this illegal migrant movement which takes place also needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed probably at some level through strengthening our border forces also. So there are a number of facets which will come into play, which all will be looked at when we are doing the collaborative effort to tackle the challenges which are there.
Sudeep.